Jeez, it is rough. So windy, so cold. This windscreen does more to fight the wind than I would have anticipated, considering my head sits so far above it. But it's doing virtually nothing in the lower position. At the top though, it's doing something, but nevertheless, this isn't the best time I've had on a motorcycle. Yeah, it was pretty miserable. Ah well. Smooth seas didn't make skillful sailors.
Well, that's probably the coldest I've been on the motorcycle in quite a long time. I'm clearly not climatized to winter just yet. I'm a little bit dirty because I spent quite a bit of time washing the bike before I came out, but anyway, that's all part of motorcycling, isn't it? You can probably tell already, I've got the new Triumph Tiger Sport 660. I'm going to tell you all about it, but I feel like I can't talk about this bike without first at least mentioning the platform sharing Trident 660, one of the most important new model releases of 2021 without question. It brought the fight to the Yamaha MT-07, the Kawasaki Z650, a level of refinement and technology we frankly hadn't seen in the Lamb's naked bike segment as yet. So what Triumph have done with the Tiger Sport, in effect, they have built on the Trident 660 platform to offer something a little bit more versatile. This thing can comfortably accommodate a pillion, hard luggage, it's got a screen, it's got more upright ergonomics, more suspension travel. So they're calling it an adventure tourer, which I see why manufacturers do that. I'm probably getting a bit semantical here, but basically what they mean by adventure tourer is it's probably not dirt capable enough to be a proper adventure bike, and it's probably a bit too upright to be considered a sports tourer. So you come to the term adventure tourer. I think probably a more apt description would be something like an all-rounder, though, you know, I see how that's not quite as romantic, so fair enough. Anyway, I'm going to tell you all about the Tiger Sport 660. I'm going to tell you what's unique to it compared to its Trident 660 stablemate. Stick around at the end, I'll tell you the price, all the specs that you need to know if you're considering buying this bike for yourself. So I'll show you around the bike some of the things that are unique to the Tiger Sport. You're going to notice a large front fairing with dual headlights, more conventional setup these days compared to the round LED light on the Trident. Of course, that includes a big screen which is adjustable. That does a reasonable job, better than I expected. Also, the protection includes a beefier front guard. The Showa suspension at the front carries over, although the rear is different. I'll talk about that a bit later. Same Nissan brakes, same tyres. All no complaints there, quite good. Strong technology for a Lamb's bike, certainly, though it's not comprehensive. The TFT dash is actually the same unit as we had in the Trident, though it's in a bit of a different form factor. That gives access to two rider modes, road and rain. We've got switchable traction control, and you can also connect your phone for turn-by-turn navigation, GoPro control, those kinds of things. No heated grips, that's kind of a biggie. No cruise control. So, look, when this technology package came out on the Trident, it was sort of ahead of its class, but now we're actually sort of competing in the sports tourer class, or the adventure bike class, and that technology package is actually quite bare bones. That's reflective of the price, so I'm not necessarily complaining about that there. Ergo's next up. Very upright, quite comfortable. This seat is completely new for the Tiger Sport. It extends quite a lot longer, so you can have a pillion. Grab rails here too. Very upright. I may as well note now that I found this bike to be really quite flickable and light feeling. The performance is really so similar to the Trident. You know, this is probably going to annoy some people, me saying this, but the truth of the matter is this is really This is so much like the Trident, but with more versatile parts hanging off it that may suit a different style of rider. That's what they're going for, let's be honest. Guess I may as well start it up. So that's obviously one of the really cool things about the Tiger Sport. It's got a triple cylinder engine. There's not many of those getting about in the Lambs class. In fact, there's none. It's the same 660cc triple engine, which only comes in a restricted Lambs tune in Australia. If you're from another country, check with your Triumph dealer because you may have access to the full power version. But in Australia, it is only available with the restricted tune. Now, depending on where you read, you get different output figures, but I'm going to go with Triumph's consumer website. They rate this engine at 41 kilowatts and 62 newton meters in Australia, which is more than the Trident, which made 39.8 kilowatts and 59 newton meters. So a little bump to output, so that's almost certainly leveled by the fact that this is 17 kilograms heavier at 206 kilograms. Part of that is going to be the fairing, of course, but probably mostly this has a 17-litre fuel tank rather than the 14-litre fuel tank of the Trident. So you can expect quite a bit more riding range out of this thing. As you can probably tell, it's quite a bit taller. The seat height is rated at 835 millimeters compared to 805 millimeters on the Trident. Look, it is a fairly tall seat for a Lambs bike. I'm 6'1", so obviously I have no problem climbing over it. But certainly if you're vertically challenged, definitely take one of these for a test ride and make sure that you're comfortable with the height of this bike. We've got 150 millimeters of travel at both ends, which is up compared to the Trident. Now, that brings me to probably one of the most important points. The only complaint that I really had about the Trident, and I wasn't the only one that complained about it, was the rear end was quite stiff. You hit a bump and you really felt it through your back. Well, this bike benefits from a remote hydraulic preload adjustment, and my butt dyno tells me that this bike is a little bit more comfortable at the rear end. I don't know if they've made that change specifically to fix the harshness of the Trident, or it's simply just put there because this bike needs to accommodate more weight at the rear end, like a pillion and luggage, of course. I don't know, whatever, it doesn't matter, but I'm really happy with the suspension package all round on this bike. I found no problems, although I haven't hit a real big bump and I've been mostly riding in the rain, so make of that what you will. As I said, nice big grab handles at the back for your pillion, and you'll notice these little black mounts here. That's so you can fit optional hard luggage, and you can even get a 2-helmet top box to sit up here. So you could really cover some distance on this bike quite comfortably. It's capable of you know, doing most touring jobs. 17-inch cast aluminium wheels with Michelin Road 5 tyres, same setup of the Trident. Same 3-into-1 exhaust as we've seen previously. Makes a really good sound, I reckon. That's clearly a massive highlight of this platform, having a triple cylinder engine. And just like when I rode the Trident, riding this, I'm kind of amazed that it passes Lambs regulations because it's quite fast. I ride quick bikes all the time, as many of you know, and I don't feel remotely bored on this. It's got plenty of go, honestly, for most applications, particularly if you're a learner rider. Now, down to business. This thing is now available from $14,690 right away, plus $150 if you want the fancier metallic paint. That translates to about a $1,500 premium compared to the Trident, which I think still represents remarkably good value. There isn't that much competition in this space, the big one being the Kawasaki Versys 650. Yamaha did have a similar offering in the Tracer 7 though, that's now long discontinued. Another big perk for this bike is the fact that it has service intervals of 16,000 kilometers or 12 months, so you can expect really low servicing costs with this thing. This is almost certainly the pick if you plan to do long days in the saddle, definitely if you plan to take a pillion or quite a bit of luggage. This replicates all the things that made the Trident such a good bike, but just adds a extra level of depth with its comfort and versatility. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing to the CFMOTO YouTube channel. We've got another Triumph coming up soon, Speed Triple RR. Very excited. Lots coming. Take it easy, guys.